talk about Fahmi Fadzil. Actually, right? Actually, Fahmi Fadzil looks like a younger version of Raja Nongchik. Bold, not too big, pretty good looking, both. But there is a big difference between Raja Nongchik and Fahmi Fadzil. In 2008, when I first won, I was invited to a talk show. I can't remember the name of the talk show now. But when I turned up at the talk show, there was a host there. And this man was Fahmi Fadzil. He was cracking a lot of jokes, asking me to do funny things. But he asked me, because back then in 2008, I was penalized because I stood for the opposition. I won, and I was not allowed to go back to my school for a prefect's reunion. Some of you may remember that incident. So Fahmi Fadzil wanted to interview me. And so he listened and he interviewed. But years later, I then found out that Fahmi Fadzil joined Keadilan, and now it's time for him to enter frontline politics. Now I want to tell you, in the entertainment sector, not many people will be willing to pay the price like Fahmi Fadzil did, going frontline. In fact, in the entertainment sector, many people will want to remain neutral because they fear if I stand with this side, I might not get contracts. If I stand on this side, I may also not get contracts. But very few people in this sector will step forward and say, it is time to no longer sit on the fence and make a stand. You have such a candidate in Lembah Pantai this round. Some of you here may think, if I vote for Raja Nongchik, I will have funds for development in Lembah Pantai. Let me tell you, Lembah Pantai doesn't need development anymore. Lembah Pantai needs to fix the injustice in this nation, because now in Lembah Pantai, you are home to Bukit Aman. So, this round, when you go out to vote, if you think that Fahmi has no experience compared to Raja Nongchik, I ask you to give Fahmi Fadzil a chance. Because inexperienced politicians are no longer our problem. Corrupt politicians are our biggest problem. So you know what to do, huh? What do you need to do on voting day? Vote early, and then you become polling and counting agent. From now till the 9th of May, who do you talk to? Yes, look for policemen and just talk away. Especially the aunties, the senior citizens. They cannot say no to you. When you are exercising in the park early morning and you see a policeman circling around doing their rounds, you stop them, senior citizens. You have a chat with them. Talk to them, because they will listen to you like their mothers. As their mothers, they will listen. Okay, it makes sense. And then give them the extra push, give them the extra courage just to vote Pakatan Harapan. It is possible, it is within reach, Lembah Pantai. In the Federal Territory, Wilayah Persekutuan, Tengku Adnan has been behaving like the king of Federal Territory. If he wants to sell land, he sells land. If he doesn't want to deal with stakeholders, he just goes ahead and approves projects. We cannot allow this kind of pattern to go on in the Federal Territory. Federal Territory land are probably the most expensive land in Malaysia. You cannot allow an elected representative sitting comfortably in Putrajaya, making those decisions for you, selling lands all across Federal Territory. The DAP MPs asked in Parliament, they have been told that 60 plots of land have been sold around Kuala Lumpur. In Kuala Lumpur, if a government can find 60 pieces of land, something is quite wrong. Where do this land come from? Possibly green lands. Possibly. Because it's not easy to find an undeveloped piece of land in Kuala Lumpur. But the fact that they are able to sell 60 pieces of land tell you something is terribly wrong. And out of these 60 pieces of land, only about half have been used for public housing. So we must put a stop to this. Lembah Pantai must not contribute to another Barisan Nasional seat in federal territory. God forbids that to happen. Lembah Pantai cannot allow that to happen. And so I ask you, as your neighbor next door, that you will stand alongside voters of Segambut this round and vote strongly for Pakatan Harapan. I'm telling you, the ground is shifting, because gone are the days where you have limited presence at the Ceramah. Today, Ceramahs are all broadcasted live every night on Facebook. I'm telling you, civil servants are listening, because they are telling us, ini kalilah, it is absolutely possible and within reach. So I stand with you tonight. I thank you for the last 2 elections for making the right decision in putting Izzah in. You know, they say Nurul Izzah runs away. That's what BN government say. And today, even the PPP say that Hannah Yeoh is running away from the problems in Subang Jaya. We have nowhere to run with. Everywhere we go, we serve same Malaysians everywhere. Same problem. Same problem in Lembah Pantai, same problem in Subang, same problem in Segambut. But it takes courage for people to move out of their comfort zone. Is it raining? Oh boy, I better end now. Because I care for your welfare. So people of Lembah Pantai, thank you so much for listening. I hope you will make the right decision. And I hope finally, 20 years down the road, when our young Malaysians study the history books of Malaysia, they will remember this special constituency called Lembah Pantai. Against all odds, against a 7,000 move of police votes into this area, that Lembah Pantai still continue to vote in the Pakatan Harapan leader. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.